Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to our English news program, broadcasted to you from Canal, Algérie. To the headlines. The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, receives the Minister of Foreign and European Affairs of Luxembourg on a working visit to Algeria at the head of a delegation. The meeting of the government chaired by the Prime Minister Ayman bin Abdurrahman discusses the efforts of the government and the urgent measures taken to compensate the affected people, praises the efforts of many directorates and the civil society, studies the projects of the sectors of finance, investment and local development in Khanshla province. In investment, the lifting of constraints on 6 new industrial zone projects in the country. Case of Point Maghnia in Tlemcen scheduled for reception before the end of the current year. In the education sector and ahead of the new academic year, several new educational structures will strengthen the sector this year. Case in point in Wergla province. Good evening, those were the headlines. First in our news, the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, received the Minister of Foreign and European Affairs of Luxembourg, Jean Asselborn. The audience took place in the presence of the Minister of Foreign Affairs and the National Community Abroad, Ramtan Amamra, and the Principal Private Secretary at the Presidency of the Republic, Abdelaziz Khalaf. Let's listen to the Minister of Foreign and European Affairs of Luxembourg.
Pour moi, c'était un grand honneur d'être invité par le président.
It was a great honor for me to be invited by the President of the Republic. The President explained to me his position about Mali and other Maghreb countries, but we hope that the new United Nations Special Envoy, Mr. Mitsura, will be able to find a solution for this point which is disturbing the region a bit. I said to the President that Luxembourg is a part of Benelux that is an initiative taken during the Second World War, and the Benelux is the precursor in the European Union. So there is a mean if there is a will to work together, and that's what we hope to do with Algeria. Also, everything that Algeria is well prepared to host one of the important meetings, which is the Arab League Summit taking place in November 2nd. During this visit, I have learned lots of things about your country and about the region. Thanks a lot.
The Minister of Foreign and European Affairs of Luxembourg, Jean Asselborn, met with the Minister of Foreign Affairs and the National Community Abroad, Ramtan Amamra. The talks were later extended to delegations of the two countries. They were crowned with the signing of 2 agreements concerning the reinforcement of the political cooperation and the cooperation in the air transport sector. The Minister of Foreign and European Affairs of Luxembourg, Jean Asselborn, was received by the Minister of Energy and Mines, Mohamed Arqab. The two parties discussed ways to strengthen cooperation in the sector of energy. Still in energy, Sonatrach announced an important discovery in Hasilatu, the region of Isba, province of Adrar. The estimations are around 151 million of gas barrels, a discovery first of its kind in the sector since 28 years. The Prime Minister Ayman bin Abdurrahman chaired Wednesday a meeting of the government. At the beginning of the meeting, the government observed a minute of silence to pay tribute to the lives of the victims of the recent fires in some provinces of the country, where the Minister of Interior gave a comprehensive presentation on the toll of the fires and the measures taken to confront them. The Minister of Agriculture presented the measures he had initiated to count the affected persons with a view of an immediate compensation as well as for the damages and losses as soon as possible. Following the presentation, the Prime Minister recalled the instructions of the President of the Republic to compensate the victims and persons as well as to take care of their concerns. The Prime Minister praised the efforts of various departments of civil protection, forest agents, forces of the National People's Army, and civil society solidarity donations. The government has studied projects in the financial investment and local development sectors. With regard to the finance sector, the presentation dealt with preliminary draft of the budget settlement law for the year 2020. In the field of investment, the government has examined 3 draft executive decrees that fall within the framework of completing the work of preparing the implementing text of the laws on investment and the procedures related to the follow-up task entrusted to the bodies and departments concerned with the implementation of the legislative and regulatory framework. In the field of local development and within the framework of the follow-up to the implementation of the decisions of the President of the Republic, the government listened to a presentation by the Minister of Interior on the progress of the embodiment of the supplementary program that was decided for the benefit of the province of Khanshla, where the Premier asked all the sectors to respond to the concerns of the citizens of this province. Let's move to the investment sector now. Lifting of constraints on 6 new industrial zone projects in the country. One of them is in Maghnia in Tlemcen province. Its reception is scheduled for the end of the current year. Report by Abdel Jabir bin Yahya and commentary by Rania Al-Bahri.
Extending over an area of 103 hectares, comprising 74 lots, the industrial zone of Oulad Ben Damou village begins to see the light of the day after 5 years of suspension. Construction works have resumed at an accelerated pace. We prepared this industrial area and equip it with the necessary amenities with the aim of attracting as many investors as possible. This project has been temporarily suspended for many years due to some obstacles which hindered the launch of this project. In addition, several jobs will be created. The industrial sector is promising at the level of these border regions, and this will give a new impetus to the national economy.
منطقة صناعية مهمة جدا خاصة وأنها على الحدود تحتاج.
Considering its geographical location, it's one of the 6 most important industrial zones, which is expected to attract a large number of investors, create employment, and revitalize the economy in the region. This project will be delivered by the end of the current year. It will also be as a big leap in economic and commercial sector in the western region of the country.
The education sector now. Several new educational structures will strengthen the sector this year. This is the case in Wirgla province, which is in the process of receiving new establishments, which will help to alleviate the pressure. Report by Mukhtaria bin Maryam, commentary by Rania Al-Bahri.
The start of the school season is around the corner. In Wirgla province, preparations are taking place to improve the services in this sector and reduce the overload of classrooms. The reception capacity has been reinforced thanks to the construction of new structures and the renovation of the old ones. These establishments are spread over different municipalities where the classrooms were saturated. We will also receive other schools in September, and this will improve schooling conditions. 4 other school groups and 2 middle schools are also under construction, in addition to the rehabilitation of several other structures, which will be delivered by the start of the school year. We are going to receive new school groups and 2 middle schools, one in the city center of Wirgla province and the other at the level of AADL city, and another high school in Ain al-Bida municipality. Several infrastructures will therefore be delivered as soon as possible. This will contribute to alleviate the pressure and provide better conditions for students and teachers.
In this communique of the National Defense Ministry, 8 traffickers arrested in attempts to introduce large quantities of drugs through the borders with Morocco, buoyed by combined detachments of the National People's Army, results that reflect the high professionalism, vigilance, and permanent availability of our armed forces throughout the national territory. Najah Tayyar has the details.
In the frame of fight against organized crime and in continuity with the intense efforts aimed at countering the scourge of drug traffic in our country, combined detachments of the People's National Army in coordination with the various security services at the level of territories of the 2nd and 3rd military regions have arrested 8 drug traffickers and have thwarted attempts to introduce quantities of drugs crossed borders with Morocco, amounting to 167 kilograms of treated cannabis and 1 submachine gun FMPK and 661 bullets, while other 23 drug traffickers were arrested in possession of 56,594 psychotropic tablets during various operations carried out across the military region. While detachments of the National People's Army intercepted 183 individuals in Tamanrasset, Burj Badi Mukhtar, Ain Gazam, Janet, and Tindouf, and seized 21 vehicles, 223 generators, 125 jackhammers, 2 metal detectors, 3 tons of mixture of raw gold and stones, as well as detonation tools and equipments used in illicit gold panning operations. While other 11 individuals were arrested and 4 hunting rifles, 1 automatic gun, quantities of foodstuffs intended for smuggling amounting to 37.5 tons, 111,200 packets of tobacco and 1,320 units of various drinks were seized in Ain Gazam, Burj Badi Mukhtar, Tindouf, Wirgla, Jilfa, Tizi Ouzou and Saida provinces. In the same context, the border guards, in coordination with services of the National Gendarmerie, thwarted attempts of smuggling large quantities of fuel amounting to 31,395 liters in Burj Badi Mukhtar, Tabissa, At-Tarif, Suqahras and Al-Wad provinces. In addition, the Coast Guards thwarted attempts of illegal immigrations at the level of our national coast and carried out a rescue operation of 20 individuals aboard craft-built boats, while 102 illegal immigrants of different nationalities were arrested throughout the national territory.
The multi-sports hall of the regional complex for military sports in Blida, the first military region, hosted the mixed martial arts competitions as part of the last station of the military competition, Airborne Section 2022 in Blida. It witnessed the participation of 9 countries. Internationally, the Polisario Front calls on the European Union to take practical measures for the acceleration of the process of decolonization of Western Sahara. And this statement of the High Representative of the European Union for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy, Joseph Borrell, highlights the necessity to consult the Sahrawi people, who are the only ones that can decide their own future. Borrell affirmed to the Spanish public channel TVE1, reiterating the position of the European Union for the right of Sahrawis to self-determination. And with that, we'll wrap up our news bulletin. Thank you for watching. Have a great night.